seeds, and welcome to Soulful Sunday, your weekly channel messages for the upcoming week of Sunday, January 23rd, all the way until Saturday, January 29th. So let's get into it. We have 6 messages to get through from Spirit today. So the first message is the squeeze. So I was instantly shown or felt if you wear a shirt that's 2 sizes too small, or a bra that doesn't fit you properly, or pants that don't fit you, or shoes that are too small, that uncomfortable feeling you get when you're closed in and your clothes are too tight, that is energetically what is happening all over the globe. And I did write that some countries have a tighter shirt than others. However, like an interwoven fabric, we are all connected, so the squeeze is being felt by all. And when we talk about the squeeze, we're talking about restrictions, mandates, people uniting and bonding together to stand up to certain levels and restrictions of systems that are not working, and systems that are old, and things that don't make sense. So more people are questioning the narrative and getting more comfortable talking to other people about it and standing in their truth. So the next message that we have is a suggestion from Spirit. So if you are in one of those countries that feels like it has a tighter t-shirt, so a message for that is decluttering your space physically to help with the feeling of being trapped or stuck. So this can help to move energy as well that's stuck within us. And I know, if you clean your room, it's not gonna change the fact that you can't go to a restaurant right now, or whatever the restrictions are wherever you are, that you can't do certain things that you used to be able to do. Having a clean room isn't gonna change that. But it's the energy behind that, and because most of us are spending more time at home again, depending where you are. I'm speaking from Canada, so I speak mostly about Canada and things that are happening in Canada, but if this resonates for you in different parts of the world, wherever you're watching this from, that's amazing. So you have a clean room, and that doesn't change the fact that if you're in Ontario right now, you can't go out to a restaurant regardless of your status. There's been another lockdown, right? So it doesn't even matter. But it's the energy behind that. And if you are spending more time in this space and you have some clutter, in the corners or in a closet, just sort of the energy behind sorting through that and cleaning that up helps you to feel better, and it can help you to feel better and help you to have a clearer mind and clearer energy, so that when you're spending all that time in that space, the energy can flow in that space and it can help you think more clearly. That's a message that I got. Next message number 3. So the next 2 messages are songs, which is pretty cool. And they're both songs by the Beatles that I heard while I was writing all this stuff out. So the first song that I heard was the song Come Together by the Beatles, which is super inspiring and super hopeful and insightful. So I looked up the lyrics to that, and one of the lyrics is, "One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me." And I see that almost as the unity, the whole unity, the frequency thing. But I thought a really interesting line to hone in on here is the "come together right now over me." Over me. Who is me? Who's saying come together over me? I interpret that "come together over me" as energetically the mandates, or even the virus, saying come together right now over me. Let this unite us together as humans, as brothers and sisters, and let us learn from the past, learn from these mistakes, and move forward together to build a better tomorrow. So then the next message that I got was another song from the Beatles, Revolution. And that is a pretty powerful song. I heard that song this morning, not actually on the radio. It just came to me in my head, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good song. I forgot about that song. And then so I've got the lyrics pulled up here on my computer. Okay, so part of the lyrics are, you say you want a revolution, we all want to change the world. You tell me that it's evolution, we all want to change the world. I know most of you probably are familiar with this song, but there's something about looking up these lyrics and really reading them that I felt drawn to do. And then another line is, but when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? So it's a lot of us not being into the division and the paralyzing manipulation and fear-based stuff that's been happening. So that's pretty interesting. You say you got a real solution. We'd all love to see the plan. You ask me for a contribution. We're all doing what we can, all of us pitching in our own ways, whether that's showing up to a protest or more comfortable speaking your truth, or like whatever you're advocating for, but with a unity, mindful consciousness. You say you'll change the Constitution. We'd all love to change your head. You tell me it's the institution. Well, you know you better free your mind instead. So super, super, super powerful. Opening our minds up to other perspectives and other opinions of other people, whether or not it resonates for us, but just kind of putting all that nonsense aside and coming together and connecting with our fellow humans and saying, let's all just put our heads together here and stand up for what is right and what is true, and moving forward, creating new solutions. And then, you know, at the end or throughout the song, they go, don't you know it's going to be all right, all right, all right, all right. And it keeps repeating. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Make sure that I say that in this video. It's going to be all right. It's going to be bumpy, but it's going to be all right. Okay. So fourth message. So I got the analogy of candles. So all of us are lights in our own way. We each have our own inner light, inner frequency, inner beautiful being spectrum of universal amazingness that we all are. So all of us are lights spreading to each other and lighting each other up. So I wrote down passing of the torch energy to come in regards of new leadership, new systems and structures, and new ways of thinking. But taking that, going back to that analogy of the candle, so of your inner light and you speaking your truth in a grounded, conscious, respectful way inspires somebody else, and that ignites their light, and so on and so forth. It's like the whole world is becoming aglow with all these little flames of people banding together. And there's really just been a shift for this week moving forward in the narrative in different countries, sort of uplifting the restrictions, and more are going to follow suit, but there's also going to be more pressure or more backlash towards those that are, because they're paving a new way. So it is still very much going to be a tug of war energetic scenario. So I mean, I'm sure you all know that if you're watching this channel, that there's still more to come, but it's really great when we get these periods or these beacons of hope and these messages of hope to let us know that things are going according to plan and that we are definitely moving towards this unity consciousness. Okay, so then the fifth message that I got, I wrote down, justice for all, energy doesn't lie, ripple effect in the collective of people standing up, which we are seeing specifically in Canada with the truckers and the truckers strike. But also that's just one example of many, and just one country. There's a lot of other stuff coming up. People have had enough. People are starting to put their differences aside, see what's really going on, and standing together and standing up for what's right and planting the seeds for the new and the next generations. This is how it all starts. It all starts like this. So it's all really, really wonderful stuff. I mean, in the moment and when we see certain things play out, it's not. But again, we always want to zoom out and look at things from a higher perspective to see energetically what is going on here and what's playing out. And that can grant us perspective and wisdom and grace to help us to move forward and navigate these times in our human bodies with our own stuff that we came in here to learn and grow and evolve from. So then the sixth message that I got, I wrote down, backs against the wall. Okay, That's what it means. Okay, so I got, you know the expression, okay, your back's against the wall, right? So with all of these like restrictions and mandates and lockdowns and blah, 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 it doesn't matter who you are, what you decide to put in your body, whatever. We are all, specifically more so in Canada, but everywhere, feeling backs against the wall. So when your back's against the wall, I was shown the analogy, instead of all of our backs being against the wall, so our backs are against the wall, but then we all link arms or we all hold hands or whatever. It sounds very, very kumbaya, I know, but this is what I got, so bear with me. So everyone's backs are against the wall, and then we all link up, joining hands, joining arms, whatever. And then the wall behind these people that are holding hands crumbles. So that is representative of the old systems and structures and stuff that hasn't been working. And then we, as humanity, standing there holding hands, become the new wall, or new earth. It starts with us. So I thought that was pretty inspiring. We are going to do a card pull. I'm just gonna pick a deck. Okay, let's do this one. No, I changed my mind. Okay. Okay, I did this one. Nope. All right. Okay, final decision. I was deciding between two decks, and you know what? I might pick a couple cards from each deck. Okay, so first deck, still getting to know this deck, the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And if you watched the video a few weeks ago when I used this deck for the first time, you'll remember that I said that I am not trained in tarot at all, and I don't read tarot cards. I just read oracle decks or oracle cards, but there's something about this deck that I just really liked, and I really liked its energy, and I'm still able to get messages from the images. Okay, so a card just fell on the floor. Interesting. So it is the sun. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Remember, we talked about candles, lights, lighting up the world, lighting up wherever it is that you are. And that beautiful sun energy. And I've been pulling stuff or talking about the sun for a while now, in the last couple of weeks with these readings. So that's interesting. We're going to pick one more card. Two of Cups. I mean, come on. And we just talked about that analogy of our backs being against the wall and everyone linking and holding hands, filling each other's cup. And I also want to zoom in on how there's different colors that are going into each. So each person has different ideas, different frequencies that are filling up these new cups and these new systems and this new earth that we are all moving towards. Okay. And then the next card that I pulled was Five of Wands. And I also I'm going to this flame energy where we talked about lighting the flame. So it's like we're all working together to keep the torch alive. That passing of the torch energy we talked about with new leadership that will be coming in eventually. That's already here. Actually, it's already here energetically. It just hasn't come in the physical yet because there's still a few things that need to play out with these old systems and these sort of high profile souls that have chosen to take on these roles. There's a few things that need to play out in the consciousness of people and collective consciousness, I'm hearing. But this is all of us sort of like working together to light this torch, just pass the torch, but to also light our lights and spread it all over the world. Okay. And then the last card that I'm going to pull. Okay, so this is Eight of Swords. And I see this as that trapped energy we were talking about when we first opened up the channel and started talking about the messages that came through about feeling trapped, stagnant. So decluttering your space, but also feeling the squeeze, like they're pulling, it looks like these crows are pulling like strings around her. So she's feeling more and more and more, like stuck and blindfolds on, can't see. So this has been a lot of people for a long time, but it is definitely changing. Yeah, totally changing. So then the next two cards that I got, the Moon. So the light versus the dark, the shadow, the depths of the subconscious of humanity, of ourselves individually. But just as we go down, we get more and more perspective. And the next card I got was 10 of Cups. And I just see this again, this unity consciousness that is here in this rainbow, and like rainbow children, star children, light workers, all these high vibrational souls that are coming in as well. But there's so much good here. And for those of you watching this, I feel like somebody needs a message that there's just so much good here already, and there's so much more to come. So please do not get discouraged. So I just fucking dropped these cards, and yeah, okay, so I dropped these cards, and then the one that popped out is the Devil. And again, I don't read tarot as the actual meanings of the cards. I look more so at the images, and the image that I see is this, like, I was like, don't lose hope, and he's reaching his hand out, and he's got some gold in his hair, and yeah, I don't okay, here we go. So he's reaching his hand out, but then there's like, it's sort of like puppet on a string, doesn't want to see this. So this has been a lot of people for a long time. And this is sort of this warrior energy that has been coming in, reaching out its hand or its palm, extending it to those that are starting to wake up and see what has really, really, truly been going on. And I am going to close, actually, hang on. There's a bunch of cards on my floor right now. Yeah, okay. So I just pulled this card again, the 10 of Cups. So just going back to, like there's just so much stuff coming in. It's so hopeful. I can't believe I just dropped all those cards. Like fucking 52 pickup. Okay. So then the next, or the last, I'm just going to pull one card from here. One of my favorites, Keepers of the Light, Kyle Gray. I'm just going to ask if there's anybody's energies in this deck that wants to come through, any messages for this video of anyone, of what we need, or if anyone needs. Wow. So two cards that I pulled from this deck. So we've got Mary Magdalene and we've got Joan of Arc energy here. So two really, really powerful, divine feminine energies. And we're going to talk first about Mary Magdalene. So Teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. But I also see Mary Magdalene as persecution energy, in terms of healing persecution energy, and specifically in terms of like cancel culture and how harsh it can be. Now, people do need to be held accountable for their actions and their words, especially if they are, you know, unacceptable and unjust and just flat out not cool. Like, of course, we need to have accountability in our society, but this cancel culture, in terms of digging things up from people's past and going after them, it's something that we're starting to heal as a collective, or we need to heal more as a collective, I feel, because haven't we all at some point done or said things that we regret or were not in our highest alignment? Now, that's not excusing what we've done or said or for other people, but just to zoom out and look at it at a higher perspective, that some people actually are capable of changing and growing and evolving, and are no longer that lower vibration or other version of themselves when they did and said those things. To completely persecute and slaughter somebody later in life, if they've grown and evolved and learned and taken accountability for that, I don't know. Like, I think there just needs to be more of an open discussion around that, as opposed to completely canceling people. But you know, some people don't change, and some people are sheep in or wolf in sheep's clothing and need to be held accountable. So it's sort of an interesting thing to consider or balance, but that's what's coming through in this card for me. But I also see this as, you know, healing that persecution energy in terms of old, stagnant, religious, archaic systems, and persecuting those that don't go along with that. Like, there's that older energy too, especially like the veins of Canada, I'm hearing, of the persecution with the church and with the residential schools and all of the history that happened there. Like, there's just there's more to heal, more to look at there. So that is coming through. And then on the other end, we have Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution and speak your truth. Are you kidding me? I just want to say, I did not read this bottom part when I pulled the cards. I'm reading them to you now, and the word persecution is in there. And we were just talking about that with Mary Magdalene. So very, very powerful women, very, very powerful messages. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We will do a quick recap of the messages like we always do. So first message was the squeeze, the analogy of the shirt is fitting too tight. The shirt is a little tighter in other countries, but we're all interwoven, part of the same fabric, and it's being felt by all, because we're ready to burst through the seams and we're ready to start new, but we have to get so uncomfortable that we're willing to move, all of us as a collective. Second message, decluttering your physical space, helping with that feeling of being stuck. Try it. Keep an open mind. Let me know how it goes. Number 3, the song Come Together by the Beatles, very inspiring. And also the song Revolution by the Beatles, also very inspiring. Look up those songs. Go listen to them. Good vibes, good messages. Message number 4, the analogy of candles. All of us are lights spreading to each other and lighting each other up. Passing of the torch energy eventually to come with new leadership systems, etc. Message 5, justice for all. Energy doesn't lie. Ripple effect in the collective of people standing up, as we're seeing with the truckers in Canada, but also elsewhere in the world. And then number 6 was the backs against the wall, but we're all holding hands and the wall crumbles behind us. And we stand united as a united front for humanity. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope these messages were helpful for you. If they were, please drop a like, comment, or subscribe below. I always love reading the comments from you guys. And I will see you back here next week for the next Soulful Sunday when we take a look at the energies coming up for February. It's going to be February next week. WTF. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Namaste. Ciao.